What happens when a single gesture on a glittering stage changes the way the world perceives two of the most iconic figures in Korean entertainment? What if a carefully measured smile, a subtle touch, or a quiet exchange could ignite speculation, fascination, and awe simultaneously? That is exactly what unfolded recently when song Hye Kyo, poised and serene as ever, broke the ice with Lee Min-ho at a high-profile award show, leaving fans around the world stunned. The moment itself was deceptively simple. Cameras captured the two stars standing on stage, a room full of flashing lights and expectant faces surrounding them. For those watching, the air seemed to shift, as if the universe had paused for just a heartbeat. Song Hye Kyo, always composed and measured in public, leaned ever so slightly toward Lee Min-ho, her gaze meeting his with warmth and recognition. It was neither scripted nor rehearsed, or at least, it felt astonishingly authentic, and the subtle intimacy sent shockwaves through fans and media alike. What made the moment remarkable was the context. The two stars have shared countless headlines, whispers of private getaways, and coordinated public appearances. Every rumor, every hint, every private flight had built a narrative of connection. Yet, until this moment, nothing had been made overt on such a public stage. The award show, a space designed for spectacle, was transformed into a stage of revelation, a single, quiet act speaking louder than any announcement could. Observers noted the deliberate timing. Song Hye Kyo's gesture came not during a handshake, not at a scripted cue, but in a fleeting pause between moments, a subtle acknowledgement of shared history and mutual understanding. Lee Min-ho responded with a composed smile, slight but unmistakable, as if to say, "I see you. We exist. Together." That brief exchange, almost imperceptible to anyone not paying close attention, immediately became the focal point of fan discussions, media coverage, and social media speculation. This story isn't over. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. We follow the moments and emotions of your favorite TV stars. Stay with us. Fans dissected every frame. The tilt of her head, the warmth in her eyes, the calm confidence of his posture. They were reading meaning into every micro-expression, searching for confirmation in subtlety. Every detail of body language, previously overlooked, suddenly seemed loaded with significance. For months, clues had accumulated in private sightings, subtle gestures, and live television remarks. Now, in one highly visible moment, the ice had been broken, and the narrative crystallized in a way that no rumor could contain. Industry insiders were quick to note the rarity of such public openness. Both Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo have built careers on mastery of image, discretion, and control. For them to share a moment so intimate, so carefully balanced between exposure and privacy, demonstrates an extraordinary level of intention. This was not performance for the cameras. This was a private truth allowed into the public eye, deliberate yet delicate, revealing more in silence than any statement could express. The gesture, subtle though it was, also reframed past speculation. The red carpet appearances, the private jet rumors, and the live television declaration where Song Hye Kyo called Lee Min-ho her forever partner, all these moments suddenly formed a coherent pattern. Each hint, each carefully guarded moment, was no longer isolated. Together, they created a narrative of connection, trust, and mutual respect that now had an unmistakable public acknowledgement. Social media erupted immediately. Fans replayed the footage, shared screenshots, and debated every micro-expression, every glance, every nuance. Headlines around the world reflected the astonishment. Two of the most private, composed, and iconic figures in Korean entertainment had shared something undeniably intimate on a global stage. The ice was broken, and with it, the speculation transformed into something more tangible, proof that a relationship, long hinted at and carefully nurtured in private, exists and endures despite the glare of public attention. Yet what makes this moment so compelling is the restraint. There was no dramatics, no theatricality, no attempt to force spectacle. It was simple, human, and deeply intentional, a gesture that balanced discretion with revelation. It communicated connection without demanding interpretation, intimacy without spectacle. And in a world obsessed with performance, such authenticity is a rare and profound declaration. As the awards show continued, the moment lingered. Fans and observers alike could not look away, knowing they had witnessed more than a fleeting gesture. They had witnessed a statement. The subtle acknowledgement on that stage transformed months of speculation into a narrative that now feels undeniable. Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo, masters of privacy and poise, have once again shown that some truths need no announcement. Sometimes, they emerge in the quietest gestures, the smallest acknowledgments, the most fleeting of glances. And when they do, the world cannot ignore them. This was one of those moments. One gesture, one glance, one acknowledgement. And in that single instant, the ice was broken. The rumor became reality, and a story long whispered in shadows finally emerged into the light. If you want, I can continue the next chapter describing how fans, media, and global audiences reacted in real time to this award show moment and the viral wave it created. It's cinematic in scope. Do you want me to continue that? As the cameras continued to roll, the world erupted. Social media exploded within seconds of the broadcast. Each frame of that brief exchange dissected, magnified, and shared across platforms worldwide. Fans debated every micro-expression, every tilt of the head, every subtle smile, interpreting each gesture as confirmation of a connection they had long suspected but had never seen so openly acknowledged. The hashtags trended globally, transcending language barriers and time zones, as millions joined in the collective astonishment of witnessing what many had thought was impossible. News outlets scrambled to contextualize the moment, compiling timelines, revisiting past appearances, and linking this single gesture to months of whispered speculation. The private jet sightings, the red carpet alignments, the synchronized absences from events, all these pieces, once considered mere coincidences, suddenly formed a coherent story. Analysts noted that the award show moment was not spontaneous. It was deliberate. It was the culmination of a long narrative told in gestures, in absence, and in carefully orchestrated glimpses. Fans described the moment as surreal. Many spoke of watching the screen in disbelief, some holding their breath as the brief acknowledgement unfolded in real time. There was a sense of intimacy so profound that it transcended the broadcast itself. For those watching, it felt less like entertainment and more like witnessing a private truth briefly shared with the world. The ice, long held firm by years of discretion and careful public image management, had finally shattered, revealing a warmth and connection that could no longer be ignored. Industry insiders were quick to recognize the significance. Both Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo are consummate professionals, known for their ability to manage public perception with precision. For them to allow such a moment in front of millions was unprecedented. It was a gesture that balanced authenticity with restraint, intimacy with composure, a declaration without words, and one that resonated more deeply than any press statement ever could. The gesture's subtlety amplified its impact. There was no dramatic flourish, no exaggerated expression for the cameras. Just a quiet acknowledgement, a shared glance, a single touch that spoke volumes. In a world dominated by spectacle and sensationalism, such restraint was more powerful than any overt display of emotion. It communicated connection, trust, and mutual understanding without needing to be shouted. As fans continued to dissect the footage, past moments were revisited with newfound clarity. The red carpet walk where they appeared aligned yet understated. The private jet rumors that hinted at shared travel. The live television moment where Hye Kyo called Lee Min-ho her forever partner. All of these had been breadcrumbs, small pieces of a narrative that now had undeniable evidence on the global stage. Each gesture, each subtle interaction, had been intentional, and now the culmination of that careful choreography was visible to all. Even in the midst of global attention, both stars maintained composure. Their poise reinforced the authenticity of the moment. This was not performance, it was reality, revealed in a space where the public rarely glimpses private truths. Fans recognized that the ice-breaking gesture was not about spectacle, it was about acknowledgement, presence, and shared understanding. The implications of this single moment continue to ripple through media and fandom alike. Conversations have shifted from rumor to confirmation, from speculation to analysis, as the world grapples with the undeniable reality. Lee Min-ho and song Hye Kyo share a connection that has been carefully nurtured, thoughtfully guarded, and now, momentarily, revealed. In the end, what makes this moment extraordinary is its quiet power. No press release could match it. No staged event could replicate the authenticity of a brief touch, a knowing glance, a subtle smile shared between two people whose lives are lived largely in public, but whose most intimate truths have always remained private. And so, the ice has been broken. The world has witnessed a truth long whispered but rarely seen. Lee Min-ho and song Hye Kyo, in a single gesture at an award show, have confirmed what many suspected and captivated the world with a quiet, undeniable declaration. Some connections, no matter how carefully hidden, will always find a way to be seen. If you want, I can continue the story to describe the aftermath, how fans around the world reacted, the media frenzy, and how this moment has set the stage for the next chapter in their story. It's cinematic and dramatic, like a real-life saga unfolding. Do you want me to continue that?